Hello math people, and welcome back. We are going to do the very last section of this packet. So first I want you to realize that you see how this has one marking and so does this one? That means those two angles are equivalent. It's the same thing, the 2 marking also goes with the 2 marking. You'll see how the letters are also the same. One has a prime. It means those angles are the same. And this one corresponds with this one. So if you were to name this triangle, you are naming it JL, or you're naming it JKL. And if you look at the triangle with the primes, it is also the red angle, and then the blue angle, and then the green angle. So you need to name it in the same direction. So like JKL is the same as this to this to this. It's easy when they're the same letters, that they won't always be the same, as you will see in a minute. So, angle A is congruent to angle A prime. Angle B is congruent to angle B prime. Angle C is congruent to angle C prime. I'm just going to put an angle sign there. And then A to B, that's blue to green, is congruent to A prime to B prime. And this line just means a segment. Oops. B to C, in that order, is congruent to B to C in this order. So B prime to C prime. And then AC, A to C is congruent A to C in that order. So it's always going the same order as given. So therefore triangle ABC is congruent to triangle A prime B prime C prime. So it should make, whoa, I don't know why that line's there. Triangle A prime B prime C prime. If you put a line over it, it means it's a segment. That's why that really needed to be erased. Okay, that was a lot of effort. So, angle R is the same as, look over here, it's angle J. Okay, so now you see how S has 2 markings? You have to find the one with 2 markings. So S is the same as O. And to me, the colors make it really easy, way easier than the markings. So if you have colored pencils, I would highly recommend you love on those. Okay, so angle T right here, these are the 3 markers. So angle T is the same as angle Y. So now R to S would be the same as J to O. So you need to write it in that order. The next one is, but wait a second, R to S. I totally put that in the wrong place. Okay, R to T. Bam! So I'm going red marker to blue marker. Has to be the same as J to Y. And then T to S, blue to green, has to be the same as Y to O. And then triangle RST, RST. So I'm going the red line, then the black line has to be the same as triangle JOY. I really wish I could take credit for making this up. Isn't that beautiful? Okay, so now we have a quadrilateral. Angle U, looking for the 1 mark, congruent to angle M. Angle V, 2 marks, congruent to angle A. Angle W, 3 marks, is congruent to angle T. Angle X, 4 marks, is congruent to angle H. Now just a little side note, you see this segment UV, so UV, so I'm going blue to green, it's the same as segment M to A. Now I want you to also notice the markings there. This has 3 marks. This has 3 marks. So if you have markings on segments that are the same, that's another way to know that they're the same. So V to W, that's a 1 mark, and it's green to red. So that's 1 mark. So that's A to T. And then W to X, red to black, is the same as T to H. And if you notice, that has 2 marks. And then X to U, black to blue, is the same as H to M. So order is important, and it must be done properly when you get to naming your quadrilateral. So you have to name this quadrilateral in the exact same order. So U, V, W, X. U, V, W, X. So I'm going black to red to green. M, A, T, H. Isn't that great? Oh, I'm just smiling here. You should smile too. Okay, so here's the last video of the packet. And we're going to use this fantastic newfound knowledge to do 4 and 5. I'm going to have to that'll work. Okay, so GF is congruent to RA. So this information I'm being told. So I'm going to make a marking. GF is congruent to RA. So R is up here, RA. So now I know that y minus 3, because that's this right here, that has to be equal to 10. So if you solve for y by undoing order of operation, so you're undoing this minus 3 by adding 3, then y is equal to 13. And then it says angle A, so I'm going to go right back up here. Actually, I should be going over here. Angle C, so this is C, is congruent to what angle? So this is let's see how I can if you just look at this shape, I'm hoping that you can notice that this is like the point here and it's the same. Just looking at them. If you were to draw it on patty paper and set it on top of the other, this is going to have to be 40. So with that knowledge, because this does get a little bit tricky, the green part right here, so F to G is A to R, so it's going this way. So if I want to see the blue angle, it's actually this S right here. That S corresponds to C. So angle C corresponds to S. So angle C is 120. And then 120 is equal to 2t. So you solve for t by dividing by 2. Well, so 60 is angle T. Okay, number 6, angle A. So angle A is right here. So angle A has to be congruent to angle F. And that red 150. So now to solve for z, this is reading z divided by 2. So to undo division, you multiply by 2. What you do to one side, you have to do to the other to keep the balance. Think about that equal sign as a balance beam. So this is the same as 2 over 1, and that's what makes these 2's cancel, and that's what makes a z alone. That's what we want, because we want to solve for z. So z is 300. Okie doke. AZ is congruent to, so AZ right here. A to Z is congruent to D, just kidding, F to E, because you got to go by the green ones. A to Z is congruent F to E. And FE said 14. You really need to be able to do this. If you can't do a problem like this, I want you, as soon as you are done with this video in like 30 seconds, to close it and open up a Google and type in solving for X equations and practice some. Okay, so basically, PEMDAS, please excuse my dear Aunt Sally. It says parentheses come first, then exponents, then multiplying and dividing from left to right, then addition and subtraction from left to right. This is grouped together, it's not separate. So, you need to solve for X, which means you need to get everything away from X in the reverse order of operations. Remember, 3 next to an X is like its best friend. It doesn't want to leave until the last minute, so the first thing we're going to get gone is this 2. To get that 2 gone, it was added. To undo addition is subtraction. What you do to one side, you must do to the other. So now you have 3x equals 12, and then a number next to a letter means multiply. To undo multiplication, you do division. So 3x divided by 3 is 1x. So 12 divided by 3 is 4. So x is equal to 4. All right, I hope that makes amazing sense. You are going to do this worksheet if you have time right now. If not, you can do this the next day of class. That will be okay, but everything until this sheet should be completed and corrected, because your homework test will be the day after you do this last sheet. So make sure you're corrected and organized and ready to rock and roll. Have a wonderful day or evening.